What happens when a country goes 100% cashless? Most of us think it just means using our phones instead of paper money. But the truth is so much bigger than that. A cashless economy doesn't just change how you pay for your coffee. It rewires the entire country. It changes how people behave, how businesses operate, and how governments control the flow of money. It's not just a tech upgrade. It's a full economic transformation. Because the moment a country removes physical cash from the system, everything becomes faster, more traceable, more efficient, and more controlled than ever before. Some people see this as incredible progress. Others see it as a terrifying threat. But whether we like it or not, many countries are already walking down this path toward a future where cash disappears completely. So let's break down what really happens, step by step, when a nation goes fully cashless. First, the most obvious change, speed. In a cashless society, money moves at the speed of light. No more fumbling for change at the checkout. No more waiting in long ATM lines. No more 3-day bank transfers. It's just tap, pay, done. Every single transaction, from buying groceries to paying your rent, becomes instantaneous. This alone boosts the entire economy. Businesses run smoother, payments process faster, and money circulates through the system more rapidly, which naturally fuels economic activity. But the second change is where things get really interesting: complete transparency. When a country becomes cashless, every transaction leaves a digital footprint. Think about that for a second. Every single cent. This means governments can track economic activity in real time. Tax authorities can instantly see who is earning what and when. The black market, built on untraceable cash, shrinks dramatically. Illegal activities become much harder to fund. Corruption becomes incredibly difficult because there's no physical money to hide or move secretly. For any government, this is a dream scenario: less crime, less tax evasion, and pinpoint control over the economy. But for citizens, this total transparency has another side. Once every transaction is digital, every single payment you make becomes a permanent part of your financial history. Who you donate to, what you buy, where you travel, it's all recorded. This raises huge questions about privacy, surveillance, and exactly how much control a government should have over our financial lives. Where do we draw the line between security and freedom? The third major change in a cashless world is economic stability. Physical cash has its limits. It can be lost, damaged, stolen, or even counterfeited. Digital money eliminates all of these risks almost entirely. But more importantly, it gives central banks powerful new tools. For example, imagine a recession hits. In a cashless economy, the government could react instantly. They could inject money directly into every citizen's digital wallet within minutes to stimulate spending. They could track inflation not monthly, but by the hour. They could see exactly when people are spending more or less and adjust economic policies with surgical precision. But this power is a double-edged sword. When money is fully digital, governments also gain the ability to enforce policies instantly. They can freeze accounts with a single click. They can block transactions they deem illegal and they can respond to a crisis at the speed of light, but they can also enforce rules more tightly than ever before, leaving very little room for error or appeal. Now let's talk about the next big shift. What happens to businesses, especially the small ones? Think about the street food vendors, the small neighborhood shops, the local markets that have always been cash only. Suddenly, they're all forced into the digital economy. On one hand, this is fantastic for them. They get access to digital payments, which can increase sales. They can apply for digital loans and build a credit history. They finally become a formal part of the financial system. But it also means they have to play by all the rules. They must pay their taxes accurately and on time. They have to keep digital records. There's no more under-the-table cash to hide their true income. For many small businesses, this will be a huge opportunity to grow and legitimize. For others, who relied on the informal cash economy, it could be a struggle to survive. The entire economy becomes cleaner and more formal, but not without some casualties along the way. Another major effect of going cashless that often gets overlooked is the massive cost reduction. Countries spend billions of dollars every year just printing and managing physical currency. Think about the cost of designing it, transporting it securely, stocking ATMs, and replacing old worn-out bills. A cashless system eliminates most of these expenses. Banks spend less on tellers and armored trucks. Governments spend less on printing. Businesses spend less time and money handling cash. The entire system just becomes cheaper and more efficient for everyone. But here's something most people do talk about. When a country goes 100% cashless, banks and financial institutions gain an enormous amount of influence. Every single transaction has to go through their digital rails, whether it's through a bank, a payment processor, or a government platform. This increases efficiency, Sure, but it also increases our dependency on them. If their systems crash, the entire economy can grind to a halt. If there's a major cyber attack, the financial system is paralyzed. If there's a simple power outage, nobody can buy anything. Cash never had this problem. Cash works even when the internet doesn't. So, going fully cashless requires an incredibly strong and resilient digital infrastructure, secure servers, reliable networks, and world-class cybersecurity. Without it, the whole system is fragile. The next major change is financial inclusion. In many cash-based economies, millions of people remain unbanked. They have no bank accounts, no credit cards, and no credit history, effectively locking them out of the modern economy. A cashless system, in theory, forces everyone into the financial fold. Once you're in the system, you can access loans, insurance, and all kinds of digital services that were impossible to get before. It can open doors to opportunity for the poorest in society. But this comes with a huge condition. It means every single citizen needs a smartphone, a digital ID, and reliable access to the internet. Any country that rushes into a cashless society without first making sure everyone has access to these basic tools risks leaving its most vulnerable people completely behind, unable to buy, sell, or participate in society. Finally, the biggest transformation in a cashless world might just be psychological. We behave differently when money becomes invisible. Studies have shown that people tend to spend more when using a card or a phone, because digital payments feel less real than handing over physical cash. Our saving habits change. Budgeting becomes easier for some people with tracking apps, but much harder for others who lose that tangible sense of their money. We become more comfortable with automated payments, subscriptions, and smart contracts. Money starts to feel less like a physical object and more like software, programmable, automated, and predictable. And this is where the future gets really interesting. A fully cashless country isn't just using digital money. It's becoming a digital economy. Salaries, taxes, healthcare, education, international trade, everything can be integrated into one seamless digital financial network. And once a country reaches that stage, the transition to a national digital currency, or even a global one, becomes incredibly simple. The cashless society is not the final destination. It's the gateway to programmable money, the gateway to universal digital identities, the gateway to a world where money moves as fast as information itself. Some people fear that world, while others are excited to build it. But the truth is, this shift has already started. All around the world, countries are reducing the amount of cash in circulation. ATMs are disappearing from our streets. Digital wallets are on everyone's phones. Governments are already testing their own digital currencies. The global economy is evolving faster than ever before. So, what really happens when a country goes 100% cashless? Life gets faster, governments get smarter, economies get more efficient, and money becomes something entirely new, something built for the digital future, not the analog past. The transition won't be perfect. It will have challenges, risks, and fierce debates. But one thing is certain, the world is slowly but surely moving toward a future where cash becomes a relic, and digital money becomes the new normal. And we are all watching that future unfold in real time. Thanks for watching.